Good morning, class. Okay, good morning, class.
Good morning, teacher.
Okay, now we're going to talk about something else. Another topic for us to learn today. Now, what do you think our topic, Mangga?
It is about assessment.
Assessment. Very good. Clap your hands.
Yay.
Now, welcome to our new lesson. Okay, what do you think our lesson for today? Is it right? Everyone read.
Strategies in assessing physical education and health in the elementary grades.
Okay, very good. So now we're going to talk about the assessments. So what are those assessment kaha nga atuang matakog karong adlaw? So we have formative and summative assessment. So according pa dire nga ang formative and summative classroom assessment is very important during our classes. Why kaha? Ikaw lang ano man importanteng mga assessment?
To evaluate the students.
Okay, very good. Clap your hands for your classmate. Now, it is because it is important that formative and summative assessment will be implemented in our classes because we evaluate our students' strengths, weaknesses, and what you want to know. Now, let's start with the formative assessment. So, according to Boston 2002, that formative assessment also defined as diagnostic assessment. When we say diagnostic, it will be before ang klase. So, dira na mahitabo itong mga pre-test, mga KWL chart, mga skill checklist.
Mga content teacher, stock knowledge.
Yeah, very good. We also ask their
stock
prior knowledge,
teacher.
existing knowledge para ma-connect nato ang ilahang knowledge to our another lesson. Diba? Para makabalo ka, okay. Siya, kabalo na siya, ani. So, kanina lang akong widen pagid na ko ang iyahang knowledge about ani nga topic. That is the formative or what we call also diagnostic assessment. Now, let's talk about the summative assessment. So, what is summative assessment kaha? So, according also to Boston 2002, summative assessment is generally takes place after a period of instruction. So, ang summative, dili na siya sa klase lang. Okay? Dili siya sa klase lang, no? Kakahitabo ni siya, human na sa kada grading. Mao ni siya mahitabo nga mga exams, no? Mga exams na ginabuhat nato, right?
Yes.
Para makabalo ang teacher if nakuha ba sa estudyante, nakasabot ba sila na during anang ilang mga klase. Okay? Kung na-remember pa ba nila, kung unsaon, nga na. Okay? So, basically, formative assessment, kung na sa PE nga subject, mostly ani is ginapa if naay mga movement nga mga activity ang ginabuhat sa teacher ana is unsa man injak sa mga estudyante para kabalo siya nga kung kabalo ba ang estudyante ana or ipa-running siya para unsa man ma-test sa teacher. And also sa mga application nga kahitabo after after tudlo si teacher, dito na po utro na po sila og buhat sa activity. However, ditong activity is, unsa man, ginahatagan na sila og critic sa teacher. Para mas mo improve. Para pag maabot sa pag-summative na is, ma-perform na nila og tarong. Okay, very good. Now, let's talk about the embedding formative assessment and the instruction. So, according pa dire sa atong study, nga ang formative daw is dili na gid siya separated sa unsa man separated sa lesson. For ano na siya, naturally na siya nga unsa man appeal o gaka integrate sa mga lesson. So wala nakakabantay nga na integrate na day siya. Okay? Dili na siya separated lang nga dapat dira lang na siya, diri lang na siya. So naturally nga gaka-appeal siya kay because we have also the open-ended questions sa atong mga estudyante para mas masabtan nila. So it's very important that we also ask our students about their knowledge, about their point of view, about their understanding about the lesson. Okay? And also it's very important to ask them if they have any question about the lesson. Kaya kung dili ka mangutana, most of the student good maghilom lang good na. Okay? It's very important. As a teacher, you know how to communicate and interact with your students. Okay? Now, the lesson will be continued by another reporter. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmate. My topic is all about alignment of assessment and standard or outcomes. So when we say assessment, it is the systematic process of gathering and interpreting evidence of students' learning. So ang form of assessments are, it includes from quizzes, a test, or project or presentations, and portfolios. Mo na siya ang form of assessments to evaluate students' learning. In teaching student, no, it is not all about teaching. Dili lang kay mag-teach lang ka, mo na siya imong goal, but kailangan mag-teach ka nga aligned sa imuhang sa curriculum. Aligned siya. Whatever strategies that you are going to do to teach with your students, it's a must that your teaching is aligned with a curriculum. So muna siya ang alignment of assessment sa standard. So teachers and instructional planners must ensure that assessment are consistent and directly measured. So whatever strategies nga ilang gabuhaton basta kay align siya sa curriculum guide. And then in assessing or in teaching, pupils must know, or teachers must inform their students to further lesson objectives para nga ma-aware ang students kung unsa ang ilang kailangan nga ma-learn, kung unsay kailangan nila nga i-expect aron maka-focus ang ilahang learning efforts. Kailangan nga makabalugyod ang learning objectives. So in sa assessment, makahatag siya og directly feedback. So pinaagi sa assessment, makita nimo kung asa ang student kanang weak siya diha nga part. So makita nimo kung sa ilhang strength and weaknesses. So mao na siya ang kanang advantage sa assessment. And also ang maka-guide siya sa teachers if ang ilahang teaching strategies is kanang effective ba, no? Mao na siya ang kuan sa assessment. Dako siya og katabang. And also makahatag pud siya og information sa curriculum if that curriculum is effective ba, kana ang ilang gibuhat ba nila is effective, and it is ang effective ba siya sa mga students kung i-teach na. And then it motivates students para kana bitong directly nga feedback, makamotivate na siya sa students kung unsa ang kailangan pa nga i-improve nila. So kailangan assessment para sa improve sa mga bata, sa pag-monitor sa ilahang learning, sa ilahang weaknesses o ilang strength. In how to plan assessment. So saan na to pagplano sa assessment? Saan na to? So kailangan is mag-start good siya sa students perspective. Mag-start siya sa students' perspective. So, good assessment is designs or begin with considering the student's perspective and understanding of learning objectives. No? What is to be assessed? Unsa may ato ang i-assess? No? This emphasizes the importance of clearly defining the specific knowledge. Mo ni siya ang unsaon nato pag unsa itong i-assess sa mga students, ilabang skills, ilabang knowledge, and ilabang values, no? Kung sa skills Manila is magpakuan ka diha, magpabuhat ka dag project, kanang daghan kay kag buhaton ilang mga portfolios, or sa ilang knowledge is magpa-test ka dira, magpa-quizzes. Mo na siya ang unsaon nimo pag-assess, unsa imong i-assess sa students, no? Then accurate sad siya and measurable ang imuhang kailangan nga assess sa mga bata. Dili lang kay magpaunsa-unsa ra ka diha, kailangan measurable and accurate. No? So what is the purpose of the assessment? So assessment strategies depend on the purpose, no? Kailangan is ang imuhang purpose sa assessment is nakadepende sa imuhang objectives, no? Nakadepende sa imuhang kung sa imong goal, kay magatag-hatag ra kag assessment nga wala sa imuhang learning goals or objectives. So dili na siya pwede. Kailangan kung sa imong goals mo tay hatag nimo nga assessment e align pod siya sa curriculum. Thank you.
So good morning everyone. I will continue the report of Mrs. Ratonel. How to plan for assessment. For number 3, what assessment tool will best to provide the information we need? The teacher should select or create assessment tool that aligned with their learning objective. For their example, written test or quizzes. Or magpa-performance based ba siya sa student through kaning dancing kay PE man atong kuan subject, dapat align gid siya sa ato ang kaning unsa atong itudlo sa bata. Or is who will collect the data, stakeholder, pupils, or the teachers. The teachers observing the student performance by grading their assessment. Or for example is kaning number 4, who will collect the data? Teachers, pupils, or the stakeholders. Traditionally, the teacher will collect the data, but learner-centered approaches involve other stakeholders like pupils and peers. Example is observing student by their performance by grading their assessment. Number 5, how often when the data will be collected? The number of the collected data is the enumeral on the contrary or a few assessment data that can provide more relevant input in teaching and learning processes. What is aimed for? For example is formative assessment. Formative assessment ka sa student by doing their performance or ongoing processes for monitor their for monitoring the student progresses through class participation or fitness tracking. That's all everyone. That's all and thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Carla Mekizon and I will be discussing the lesson 2, which is the leveraging on outcomes-based design, making the most from the traditional and authentic assessment, okay? So, this lesson starts with a quote, "If you don't know where you are going, it doesn't matter which road you take." So this quote is from Lewis Carroll in Alice in Wonderland. Okay? So this quote emphasizes the importance of having a clear goals in education. Okay? So the teacher must have a clear understanding of what they want students to achieve before starting any instruction. So before ka maghatag og instruction sa imong mga bata or sa imong mga estudyante is dapat nasabtan or clear ang imuhang understanding ug unsa ang imuhang gusto makabot sa mga bata after sa imuhang or sa inyuhang klase. Okay? So now, let's proceed to the fundamentals of outcome-based education. So OBE. Let's say OBE. So OBE stands for outcomes-based education. Okay. This approach focuses on clearly defined learning outcomes. Okay. So ang OBE is nag-focus lang siya sa clear nga goals sa teacher nga gusto niya makabuot sa mga bata or gusto niya i-demonstrate sa bata after siya maghatag og instruction. Okay? Okay. So, outcomes are clear learning results that we want the pupils to manifest after significant learning experiences. These are not values, beliefs, or psychological states of mind, which are all vague and difficult to measure or gauge. Okay? So outcomes are not values, beliefs, or psychological states. Okay? They are measurable and observable. So outcomes are actions and performances that shows a student's competence through the use of content, information, ideas, and tools. Okay? So see, outcomes is not just about knowing information, but being able to do something with that knowledge. Okay? Okay? So now let's proceed to the principles of outcome-based design. So first is the clarity of focus. This pertains to the certainty of what the teachers intended the pupils to achieve at the end of their time with them. Okay? So in clarity of focus, the teacher must be certain about what students should achieve. Okay? So all instructions and assessment should be aligned with these goals. Kaya nga no, pag dili align ang atuang assessment ug atong instruction sa atuang gusto makabot sa mga bata is dili as a teacher is dili nato makuha ang atuang goal para sa ilaha. Okay? So dili nato makabot ang atuang gusto kabuton at the end of the discussion basta ang atuang instruction and also the assessment is dili ma-align. Okay? So mahimo siyang gubot, libog. Okay? So next is the expanded opportunity. This means the provision of multiple opportunities for the pupils to acquire and demonstrate at a very high level whatever they are ultimately expected to learn. Okay, so in expanded opportunity, students should have multiple opportunities to learn and demonstrate their understanding. Okay, so kinahanglan daw ang mga bata is naay multiple opportunities or daghang option na aron makatuon o aron pud ma-demonstrate nila ang ilahang nasabtan. Okay, so This includes aligning formative and summative assessment with the intended outcome. Okay? Okay. So now let's proceed to the high expectations. High expectations have nothing to do with the bell curve. That is, expectation and results are not exclusively anchored on pen and paper assessment, which is in most cases is narrow, shallow, and hollow. Okay? So in high expectations, all students should be expected to achieve a high standard. Assessment should not solely rely on traditional paper and pen test. Okay? So in high expectation, para saan? Ang ato ako ng mga assessment is kung pwede lang, dili ta mag-rely lang sa pen and paper test. Pwede ta maghatag og kanang activities such as role playing para ma-express sa mga bata kung unsang ilahang nasabtan. Okay? Okay. And lastly is the backward design. Okay? Backward design is the name of a game. As Stephen Covey famously quipped, begin with the end in mind. Here, the teachers, as instructional designers, should see and plan things backward. Okay? So, the backward design has a process. Okay? First is, we must identify the desired outcome. Okay? Kinahanglan nato i-identify ang ato ang gusto makabot para sa mga bata. And after nato ma-identify ang atong desired outcome para makabot sa mga bata is, madira nato ma-develop ang ato ang strategies and learning tasks. Okay? After nato ma-develop ang ato ang strategies and learning tasks, dara din nato mugna or ma-create ang assessment method or ma-choose ang atuang assessment method to measure the outcomes. Okay? So that's all.
So, good morning everyone. So, I am Romello Generojo. So, I will be discussing the OBE and traditional assessment. So, outcome are the first identified followed by the instruction, which include the learning task and the finally assessment. The OBE design in figure number 2 places a premium on assessment as the second step after the intended outcome are identified. So this means that all assessment tasks are aligned and directly linked to the standards to be achieved. So the next is the traditional assessment. So traditional assessment refers to the conventional method of testing which usually produce a written document such as quiz, exam, or paper. It involves assessment tools that are primarily focused on the attainment of intellectual abilities and cognitive skills. So, Kalaskan and Yagetir 2008, moreover, it focused on the pupil's course performance. Large-scale assessment such as NAT, PISA, or TIMSS and CPALM are the example for this. Usual example of the traditional classroom assessment include multiple choice identification, matching type, true or false, and like.
So my topic for this morning is all about purpose of traditional assessment. First is evaluate pupils. So evaluate traditional assessment is applied to get the academic data like scores and grades. So this can easily help teachers to know what students understand and fail to understand. So second one is rank pupils. So with the help of traditional assessment, teachers can easily rank the pupils. It can compare students' performance to their peers using grades, percentiles, or other metrics. So for the third one, feedback of evaluation results. So when the teachers are done with the evaluation process, it's time to report the results of the evaluation. Reports are placed in the report card and given to the parents during the parent-teacher conference. So next is the strengths of traditional assessment. So first is reliability. So assessment tool is reliable when it measures what it is supposed to be measured. Next is validity. So assessment tool is valid if students have the same amount of time and same type of questions. So it tells that valid assessment tools will allow students to score the same regardless of date and whoever gives the exam. For the last one is easy to administer and check. So traditional assessment have clear instructions, follows standardized procedure. So easy to check. Like multiple choice, true or false, traditional assessment can save time to check, allowing them to focus on instructions. For the last one is the limitations of traditional assessment. First is individualist. Traditional assessment measures learning on individual basis. So pupils find it difficult, especially during quarterly assessment because of depth and breadth of content. So last is competition. So as what have been said, 21st century education promotes collaborations among pupils. So traditional assessment is limited only to individual pupils, which could start competition among other pupils.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll be discussing about authentic assessments. So when we say authentic assessment, it is a assessment that premise on the idea where the pupils acquire new knowledge, skills, and even attitude to a new situation or environment, aiding them to better understand and navigate the realities that surround it. So according to Janet Leary and Acrofit 2007, emphasized the idea that authentic assessment is mainly based on a constructivist perspective of learning, wherein people's materials and content affects the learning outcomes. So we have here a 5 cardinal rules in planning and implementing assessment according to TAI 2017. So the first one is determining the skills and achievement that the pupils develop. So when planning the assessment, you have to determine the skills and achievement of the pupils will be developed on your lesson. So the second one is elaborating the task that the pupils will use to demonstrate their skills and achievement. So the second rule of implementing assessment is for you to elaborate the task or teach your learners kung unsa ang ilahang buhaton and i-demo nimo. The third one is determining and communicating scoring for evaluation. So kung authentic assessment, it is very crucial nga imong i-announce ang scoring sa imong mga learners so that they will think kung asa nga part sila mamawi or asa nga part ang pinaka-importante regarding sa scoring nga imong gihatag. So the fifth one is the improving educational instructional program. So meaning to say that improving your instruction will affect also the learning outcomes of the students. So it is very important na you have to improve your instruction for. Okay, we have here strength of a authentic assessment. So the first one, authentic assessment are direct measure. Yes, authentic assessment are direct measure because the teacher can measure the knowledge skills that acquire of his or her student. So diretso siya nga makibalaan nimo kung unsa ang mga skills sa imong learners. So the second one is authentic assessment capture the constructive nature of learning. So from the word constructive, it's about a constructivism. So meaning to say, mag-create og own learning ang mga bata. So, dili siya pareha sa traditional assessment, which is more on teacher-centered. This is a learner-centered, kay maka-construct sila og ilahang idea. So, the third one is authentic assessments integrate teaching. So, dili lang kay ilahang mga knowledge ang priority dinhi, but also naagyapon ang teaching nga gikan sa teacher padulong sa ihang estudyante. So naagyapon na wala gyapon ingon nga napasagdan ang mga learners. So the fourth one is authentic assessment provide multiple paths to demonstration. Okay. So authentic assessment man good is kanang real life maka-construct ang mga bata. So makahatag yapon siya og daghan nga ideas or daghan nga way to demonstration. Okay, so kung nating strength sa authentic assessment, nasagtay limitations. So the first one here is subjectivity in scoring. So dili gyud is kinahanglan gyud na gitong mga rubrics. So meaning to say, dili gyud basta-basta magpa-perform ka og ang mga authentic assessment kung wala nimo na gahinan og time ang mga scoring rubrics. So the second one is costliness. So kay kung authentic assessment man good, it's kanang naagyapoy gasto, no? So gasto jud siya kay kung mag-perform ang mga bata, so mangita gid sila og way aron makapangita og mga materials, and then kanang maka-cost jud siya. Okay, so the third one is limit skills and knowledge that are assessed. So authentic assessment gyapon, limited gyapon ang skills nga ug knowledge nga ma-assess sa teacher para sa iyang mga learners. Okay, the fourth one is time constraint. Okay, so time consuming pod ang authentic assessment, and it is because kanang perform, diba? So dili gid pwedeng malaktud-laktudan siya. Okay.
Our next topic is all about performance-based assessment and physical education. Performance-based assessment and physical education gauge the pupil's ability to apply the skills and knowledge learned from a unit or units of study. Usually, the tasks challenge the pupils to employ their higher-order thinking skills to create a product or complete a process. As regards the teacher's perspective, it is a form of classroom assessment. Utilize them through observing and making a judgment through the pupil's demonstration of knowledge and skills by means of creating a product, presentations, and constructing a response. The essential attributes of performance-based assessment includes complex, involves several steps or combining skills like reading, writing, and problem solving. Next is authentic, connected to real-life situations that are meaningful to children. Next is process and product-oriented, focuses on how the student works and what they create. Next is open-ended, allows students to show learning in different creative ways. Last but not the least is time-bound. Tasks must be completed in a certain amount of time, helping students manage their time.
Everyone, I am Erica Jean B. Gomez, and now we're going to tackle about the PBA, or Designing Problem-Based Assessment. Now, on designing PBA for learners as teachers-to-be, the question on how to design a PBE task is essential. Here is an example of the steps in designing PBA, or the problem-based assessment, as provided by Patricia Hillard 2015, which employed a backward design in a planning. So the first example on designing PBA is, first, identify goals of the performance. So based on assessment, anchored and standards competences in the case of physical education and health,
The goals of the performance-based assessment should allow the pupils to demonstrate and exhibit KSES aligned with the overall intention of the program. First example says that dapat clear imong pag-state kung unsay dapat gusto nimo nga matun-an para sa mga bata niya, dapat maka-align siya sa imuhang learning standards. So just like for example, in physical education, dapat ang goal dapat anak kay dapat matudluan nato ang mga bata sa mga proper techniques kung unsaon pag-dribble ang bola sa basketball. The second example is review assessments and identify learning gaps. So, this is a necessary step in designing PBA. The pupils will certainly miss the objectives of the authentic task if he or she failed to account for pre-request KSES. So, unsa man yung review assessment, identify learning gaps or check knowledge gaps. So, kani siya, before designing PBA, una-una unsa ni mugtarong, kaya ba ni mabuhat sa mga bata nga assessment or kanina activity. Naa ba sila knowledge or skills para mabuhat ana nga assessment, dapat i-check kid nato before ang mga bata if kaya ba nila ayha nato i-equip ang or ipahimo ang assessment. So, the third example would be the design the scenario. So, as pointed out earlier, tasks should be authentic enough to simulate real-life experiences. So, since one of the fundamental intentions of PBA is to allow the pupils to transfer their acquired KSES into real-life context, then simulating such is inevitable. So, designing the scenario or nag-create ka og realistic scenario, maghatag kag task nga similar sa real-life situation nga gaka-experience sa mga bata. So, just like for example, for the basketball, this could be a game scenario or a skills challenge that mimics a real game. So, this makes the assessment more engaging and helps students see the relevance of their learning. So, the fourth one is gather or create material resources. So, availability or non-availability of such may either facilities or hinder the realization of the PBA's intentions. As such, the teacher should ensure this aspect or dimensions. So, gather or create material resources is making sure nga dapat naatanan imuhang kinahanglan in every assessments pareha sa mga equipment, resources, and instruction and rubrics. Okay, so and the last one, design a learning plan. Okay, so as a famous age goes failure, the plan means planning to fail and preparing the pupils for the performance-based assessments. The teacher should strike a balance between teaching the content and preparing the pupils for the task. So, this means designing a learning plan or imong i-plan ang learning process. So, planuha kung unsaan nimo pagtudlo ang mga necessary skills or knowledge. So, dapat na-engage sila sa mga various activities or formative assessment para prepared ang student para sa final PBA or problem-based assessment. So, din check regularly kung naabay progress ang bata or naapa ba sila'y kulang para ma-adjust and ma-better ilahang performance and ma-improve. And that would be all. Thank you.
Good afternoon everyone, I am Ian Chris Isbulo and I am your presenter for today. Our topic for today is all about assessment techniques in physical education. We have learning objectives. The first one, understand various assessment techniques used in physical education. Number 2, learn how to implement these techniques effectively in elementary settings. And number 3, evaluate the effectiveness of different assessment strategies. So now we have K assessment techniques. The first one is formative assessment. So what does it mean? It means ongoing assessments conducted during instruction. So, from the word conducted during instruction, it means nga sa atong klase, pag maghimo ta og formative assessment is during the instruction. For example, if ang teacher before pa siya maghatag sa iyang formal nga klase, pasabot nga kailangan niya maghatag og formative assessment para iyang masukod kung unsa na ang prior knowledge sa iyang mga students. Okay, so for examples, during formative assessment, natin gitawag diha og observations, quizzes, and feedback sessions. So, as what we have observed sa atong class is, di ba, gakista natin gitawag og quizzes or pre-test, di ba? Before ta mag-proceed sa ato ang next topic, so ato isang ginatest ang atong prior knowledge kung unsa atong atun-an regarding ang topic. For example, before ta mag-discuss og verb, natin gitawag og observations. Pwede ta makatag observations. Pwede nga atong i-ask atong mga students or either na sila idea regarding sa verb, or a simple way maghimo ta og pre-test or quizzes in short. So it means after sa ato ang quizzes, dihin na to masukod kung unsa ang prior knowledge sa mga bata. Okay, so the purpose is to monitor student progress and adjust teaching methods. So after na to mag-conduct og quizzes as a formative assessment, diyan na nato ma-monitor ang student progress. So kung nakita na to nga gagmay ang score ang mga bata, so kailangan na to i-adjust ang atong teaching methods in a way nga ang mga bata is ilang masabtan directly ang topic nga atong itudlo sila, ha. Okay, next is summative assessment. Means evaluates students learning at the end of an instructional unit. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, so from the word at the end of an instructional unit. So kaganina sa atong formative assessment is before ta maghatag og formal nato nga klase or discussion, so we need to have quizzes first or pre-test or observations or other feedback sessions in order for us to measure the prior knowledge of the student o para ato ma-monitor ang ilang progress o ato ma-change ang ato ang teaching methods. So there is a summative assessment is at the end of the instruction unit in which nahuman nata og discuss og ato nga explain well ang ato nga topic. So in this summative assessment, diri na to masukod kung ila baging na learn o ilang nasabtan ang atong gi-discuss nga specific topic. For example, ang atong topic nga gi-discuss is verb. So after my discussion, you my students need to answer my final projects, fitness test, and standardized test. So kaya sa mga example if ang atong topic is physical education. So kay verb man ta, so after my discussion, so I ask you what is verb and you answer verb is an action word, and when we say quizzes, nag-answer ta og mga questions nga inyong gi-ansiran kung inyo ba ginasabtan. Okay, so the purpose is to measure student achievement against standards. So diha na to makita o ma-measure na to kung unsa ang na-achieve sa student regarding sa atong tudlo sa ilaha, kung nakuha ba nila ang standard nga knowledge o angay makatunan isip usa ka estudyante. Next is peer assessment. Students assess each other's performance and provide feedback. Encourages collaboration and critical thinking and can be structured through rubric. So, dito sa first point. The first point is student assess each other's performance and provide feedback. It means there is a peer assessment. Dili na ako nga teacher ninyo ang maghatag sa inyong quiz or either before sa quiz or after sa quiz. But pasabot ani nga kamo mismo sa inyong mga classmates maghatag og assessment in which kamo ang maggrado o maghatag og feedback, ay not necessarily nga grado, but kamo ang maghatag og comment or feedback regarding sa ilang performance. For example, naghatag ko sa inyo karon og activity nga gitawag nga to og nag-spoken poetry mo. So during the spoken poetry, ikaw nga naghatag og spoken poetry, ikaw nga nag-perform, ang imong classmates is maminaw. So after you perform, ang imong students, one of your classmates rather, is hatag sa mo og feedback. If your performance is good or you perform well, so diha na mo makita unsa ang imong performance, if it is bad or good. Okay? So next point is encourages collaboration and critical thinking. Sa peer assessment, dili na to makita ang collaboration and critical thinking. Why? Because ang mga students na mismo ang maglihok, they engage each other on how they learn towards their critical thinking. Sabot pasabot nga ang mga students, kamo nga mga students, kailangan ninyo og collaboration. Okay? So, when we say collaboration, diha na magawa sa critical thinking, because diha makita nimo kung unsa gid ka unsa ang kailangan nimo nga mga knowledge in order for your co-classmates to have the collaborative style nga mag-fit sa inyo as a group. Okay? So in other words, mag-collaborate mo para mag-brainstorm mo o magkinabangay mo sa usa within sa ka-group. So diya makita ato ang critical thinking nga maghatag mo ka idea, each one of you sharing your thoughts, critical thinking and ideas para mahimo nga mas mapadali ang inyong buhat or inyong work nga gihatag sa teacher. Okay? So next is can be structured through rubric. So it means ang peer assessment natin gitawag og ginasubay nga structured rubric or structured through rubric. But pasabot, so ang peer assessment is ato siyang mag-base ta dili lang ang kamo ang mga students ang mag-assess sa inyong classmates, so co-classmates, and also naputi ginasubay nga structured through rubric. Okay, next is self-assessment. Students reflect on their own performance and set goals. Promote self-regulation and personal responsibility. Tools, journals, checklists, and reflection forms. So the first point is students reflect on their own performance and set goals. So dito sa self-assessment, kaya human naman ta mag-formative assessment, human sad ta mag-summative assessment, human sad ta sa peer assessment. So after nato makipag collaborate with our co-classmates, nagamit nato ato ang collaboration, ato ang critical thinking. So this time around is kailangan na pod nga kita na pod mismo mag-assess sa atong kagalingon. So in what way? Through reflect on their own performance and set goals. For example, if si teacher after na teacher rather nga makuha ang tanan ninyo nga overall ninyo nga performance within the quarter, so kitagaan na mo grado si teacher, and then kamo nga mga student, if nakita nimo nga imong grade is not good and you are failing, so that way you are reflecting yourself, nganong gamay akong grado teacher, nganong gamay. So the point is, sala ba ni teacher nga gamay among grado? The answer is no. Why? Because ang problema is nasa tuwa. In that way, okay, diha na to makit-an, ma-reflect na to atong kagalingon kung asa ta na mali o nagkulang sa atong performance. So we need to, okay, so kay gamay akong grado, so kailangan ako mag-set og goals in order for me to be more better sa next nga quarter. Okay? So next is promote self-regulation and personal responsibility. From the word self-promote, self-regulation. What pasabot kung maghatag tag reflection sa itong kagalingon, what pasabot na asad tag itawag og self-regulation. And that self-regulation is our personal responsibility, in which kailangan nato sa himuon para nga mag-improve ta as a learner. Diba? Kaya imagine, if wala tayo self-regulation o wala tayo personal responsibility nga ginahatag sa itong kagalingon, para himuon na ito na kung pasabot, wala tayo goal sa kinabuhi. Dili na ito maabulat, hindi na ito ma-achieve ang ato ang goal sa itong kinabuhi. Muna nga, kailangan na ito mag-promote of self-regulation and personal responsibility. Okay? Ang last ng punto is natagitawag dari og ang tools nga itong ginagamit. Ang journals, checklist, and reflection forms. So, muna sa kasagara ang the way or a process nga effectively nga itong ginagamit to have self-assessment. Journals, di ba? Journals is mo taog ato ang mga answeranan. As teacher makataog ang answeranan, din kita din na mag-answer. That is journals. Basa-basa din ta, no? Journals, or in other words, journal is ato ang isulat na to ang mga pagkulang, ato ang mga kailangan to improve. That is journals, di ba, ginasulat. Dayon, checklist, ato chikan kung unsa pa atong angay nga i-achieve atong imo nga goal or improvements para sa atong kagalingon, and ato ang reflection form. So diri na ginato makita, okay, since gamay ko grado karon nga quarter, therefore kailangan ako maningkamot for the next quarter. So the solution is kailangan ako mag-study hard, study well, para nga di ko mabagsak sa quiz and madako ang akong grado. So that would be the most effective way of self-assessment. Okay, now we're moving on we are moving on implementing assessment techniques. First one is create clear objectives. It means align assessment with learning objectives. So kung maghimo ta og objectives, dapat klaro. So it is align assessment with learning objective. Dapat nga nakalinya gid siya og naka-align siya kung say naka-align ang atong assessment sa ato ang learning objective. So now we have diversify assessment methods. Use a mix of formative and summative assessment to cater to different learning styles. From the word diversify assessment methods, magamit ta og formative and summative assessments. Kung sa ginang formative and summative assessment, ato na siyang ginagamit in order to test. Okay, the first one, formative assessment, is ato siyang ginagamit in order to test or to measure the prior knowledge of your student. And the summative assessment is after na sa proper discussion or overall within a quarter. And then sa para nga atong makita ang different learning styles. So what are those learning styles? Daghan tag mga learning styles na visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and etc. So depende lang kung isa ka students is nasa multi-intelligence by Howard Gardner. Okay, so dili ta na mag-discuss ang mga topic. So now nata gitawag diri og use rubrics. It means to develop clear rubrics to guide assessments and provide transparent criteria. Usa din nato paghatag og grado sa atong students class, di ba? Kailangan nato og rubrics. Ngano? For what purpose? Para ma-develop nato ang clear rubrics. So kay na-develop nato ang clear rubrics, but pasabot is ato na yung mag-guide siya as assessment para nga transparent ang criteria. But pasabot makita ginato ang standard kung makuha bagid sa usa ka student ang criteria or ang standard criteria nga kinahanglan ni achieve sa usa ka learner. Okay? So now we are on the types of rubrics. So kinahanglan man nato og clear og transparent nga criteria. So nata gitawag diri og lahi-lahi nga mga rubrics, di ba? Ang first one is analytic rubrics. The second one is holistic rubrics. And the third one single point rubrics. Number 4, developmental rubrics and checklist rubrics. So since then, I have my reporter for this afternoon rather is dili ra ko taman sa use of rubrics. So my co-reporter will continue the discussion regarding sa the types of rubrics. Okay? So I hope class nga nasabtan nato ang atong discussion for today. So if na may kalibog, just ask me. Do not shame to ask me sa kung unsang inyong mga kalibog nga kung asa mo nga dapit ang wala na nakasabot, na wala nasabtan. So you need to ask me for that. Okay? So I think that will be all for today, class. Thank you so much for listening and hope to see you again next time. God bless everyone. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. So now I present and discuss about my topic. First is analytic. So analytic is a rubric or assessment that criteria that separate the components and also kanang dili gid siya as a whole, no, kanang sample sa kanang magbuhat ka o kanang criteria is kanang imog yung step by step or kanang naging sa saktong procedure. Tas now let's proceed holistic rubrics. So ang holistic rubric assessment, student work is a kanang kuan siya kanang whole na siya as a whole nga kuan sa usa ka criteria. Sample is nakay kanang pahimo nimo sila og kanang kuan about sa demo teaching. So mo na siya or kanang nabay pabuhat nimo nga activity. So need nimo criteria nga kanang ditso na example 50% of kanang sa ilaang performance, then creativity 20 and 30 sa kanang cleanliness or pag-cooperate sa mga team or kanang kauban. So now let's proceed single point. Single point is focusing on the criteria for meeting an expectation. So muna siya single point. So now let's proceed development rubrics. This is a show that a progression of over time. So kanang development muna siya ang kanang rubric nga kani siya kinahanglan jud nga ma-develop ang usa ka kuan samot na sa topic kay about sa PE. So need jud nga na improvement or na development sa usa ka student or sa pagkuan niya sa physical nga kanang mga activity. So now let's proceed the strategies. So kanino bigyan strategies, no? So mo gini importante sa PE. So unsaon pagpadali or unsa ang mga kanang unsay mga pamaagi nga dapat kanang sa saktong kanang position na nasa saktong pag kuandaan sa kuan sa mag-warm up daan na. Then strategy is analyze the data, collect the analyze assessment data to identify trends and areas of improvement. So muna ngita kag mga strategies nga dali ra ma-capture up or makuha sa mga bata, then ma-apply nila. So now, evaluating assessment strategies, adjust instruction use assessment result of the inform, the modify teaching strategies. So dari na dahil nimo ma-evaluate ang imong mga student is na kuha bagid nila ang imo ang mga ipangtudlo or instruction pamaagi sa physical fitness. Now the conclusion about the overall of discussion. So physical fitness is the capacity of the body to do activities without the unique sensation effectively assessment. So mo to siya, no, ang conclusion. Then I hope nga daghan kayo kanang daghan pa ang kanang makuanan Japan ani nga topic kay the best kay ni jud siya gid about sa physical fitness. Mo jud na importante sa tong body. So mo to and goodbye and God bless.